Hey everybody, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Milon Secret Castle on the NES, a game that is a long time in the making. I beat this game as a kid, well over 30 years ago most likely, and I haven't beaten the game since, up until this last month or two, where I finished it on Twitch, and then I've since finished it probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times since then, trying to get this game down, trying to find a decent route through the castle and whatnot, so I can consistently make my way to the end of the game, so we can do a Let's Play of it, which we are doing right now. So, yeah, we're going to actually go through this whole game from start to finish, and it should be a good time. Milon Secret Castle is a fairly enjoyable game. I do enjoy it quite a bit, actually. And, yeah, it's one of those games I grew up with, and is one I've always wanted to revisit for this channel. So yeah, this is probably going to take us about an hour to go through. It is quite a challenging game, and you do get continues, but much like, say, Adventure Island or the first Super Mario Brothers, you have to use a continue code. And the stipulation for the continue code in this game is you have to beat the first boss and get its item before you're allowed to continue. So we're probably not going to get a 1 credit clear in this game. I am probably going to have to continue, and there's also going to be a lot of grinding as well, because, you know, this is a fairly open-ended game. You can go in and out of rooms, and enemies occasionally drop health, and so if you get low on health and you don't want to continue, you have to grind out for said health, and so that can be a little tedious as well, but hopefully we don't have to do too much of that, but just, you know, just wanted to lay it out on the table. Like, we could very well be grinding out a lot on this playthrough for some health. So, as you probably will, if you want to try to get a 1 credit clear or a no continue run on this game. So, but yeah, before we jump into the actual gameplay itself, as usual, I'd like to give a big shout out to my current Patreon backers. So they're going to go ahead and flash by the screen. Thank you guys for your continued patronage. Likewise with the recent live stream super chatters and channel members. Just a heads up that I do live streams every Thursday night here on YouTube, so if you're around, feel free to stop in and say hello. So with that, let's go ahead and hit the start button and get right into it. Milon Secret Castle. So Milon here starts off outside the castle. You can run, you can jump, and you can shoot bubbles either up or down. You just hold the down button and press B to shoot them. You can go in and out of doors, you can go in and out of windows, and later on in the playthrough, you can even break through walls and whatnot, which is kind of interesting. And you can even cut through windows that you normally can't go through. There are some really interesting mechanics in this game that I will touch on more as we play through the game here. So my goal here is actually to get an item. And to get items in this game, generally you have to buy them. Very few items in this game are actually free. And so what we're going to do is pick up these money icons right here. A lot of the money icons, or actually technically pretty much all the money icons in this game, well, not entirely all of them. Most of them are hidden, and so you have to shoot blocks to unveil them. This upper left room here is actually one of the exceptions. We'll actually get that. It's in a hidden, well, sort of a hidden window later on in the game, and we will definitely be making use of that room, and I will talk more about that as we get closer to it. So I also picked up an umbrella, and what the umbrella does is it allows you to shoot faster. So normally Milon can only shoot 1 or 2 bubbles at a time and in a very slow manner, but with the umbrella, he can actually shoot fairly rapidly. Honeycombs also extend your health bar permanently, and these are very, very important. It's important to know exactly where these are, and so I should be able to pick up most, if not all of them in this playthrough. And you also have hidden doors like this. Some of these give you hints, like secret entrance in the front wall, which is actually a very useful hint. Bump head to find box, and that's actually a very useful hint because guess what we can do? We can bump our head to find a box. And what these boxes are music boxes. And what you want to do is pick up your music notes, not your flat notes. You want to pick up your standard notes along with these sharp symbols here. So by doing that, your note count increases, and if you hit over a certain threshold, you will get some money. The idea is to try to get over 50. If you can get it over 50, you will get $25, I believe. It's either $20 or $25. And that's how you can actually maximize your money in this game relatively quickly, is play these music note games, or music box games, and really play them well. Now, what's really cool about these music box games is you'll notice that there's not a lot of actual music. But the more you find, the more instruments are added to the song that plays. It's actually a really neat feature, and something that I actually didn't really know about as a kid when I played this game. So it wasn't until now, as an adult, that you know, I got to experience you know, the full music box song, which is really cool. So every level also has a key, and you have to get that key. The key appears after you kill a certain amount of enemies. And then once you have the key, you can exit. So what we're going to do is also come in here. There's actually a potion that we have to buy. So, may I help you? Shrink when you touch the glove. And we'll see the glove in the next room. Find a saw. So that's another good hint. Crystal has mysterious power. So the crystal is actually something that drops from the boss room. And this is our boss room right here. And I'm actually surprised that he's appeared already. I thought he wouldn't appear until after we did the second room. But it's okay. We'll go ahead and just fight him right now. These bosses, their fireballs are completely random and very difficult to deal with. But one strategy I do is I just shoot normally. And you'll notice that these guys will pretty much land right on your bubbles. And they make a sort of a faint noise when you hit them, indicating that you've done damage. And so we're just gonna kill most of the bosses this way, but these guys start to get really difficult. They start to attack much more aggressively, and they start to come closer to you, and they do a lot of damage later on in the game. So that actually put us up here, and I actually don't want to be here yet. I wasn't expecting that boss to appear yet. So we're gonna come back down here and go to this room right here. So I wanted to just demonstrate that that's where the boss room was, but yeah, he actually appeared early. I didn't know that. I thought that you would have to do both rooms first before he appears. So there's some hidden money right here. There's also some money right there. And yeah, so one thing I actually do when I play Milon Secret Castle is I'll take early parts of each stage pretty slow, and I'll just attack enemies to grind out for power-ups. So the umbrella is the big thing I really care about. So we're going to see if we can get some of these guys a little bit lower on the screen, just like that. He dropped the heart, and there's our umbrella. So the umbrella just makes life a whole lot easier. There's also a room here. You can shoot for the door, and it's just power. Power is health. And that one for $5 only gives you a couple blocks of health back. I don't recommend using it. What I recommend doing is just grinding out for health. You also have Hudson bees that appear. One of them is down there, like that. Unfortunately, Hudson bees, I do not believe stack. And what they do is they absorb multiple hits. So they act as shields, basically. And they're very, very important. Also, there's another music box. Another music box right here. There we go, just like that. And so we're going to go ahead and play that music box game too. Now, the only unfortunate thing about the music box game is that when you come out of it, you go back to the very beginning of the level, which is a little annoying. So the reason I went ahead and just grabbed it right now is because I knew we were going to have to go through the whole level again. So I'll save the other parts of the stage for when we loop back around the second time. So notice that there's an extra instrument playing, so the music is a little more intricate. Still not really what I'd call music quite yet. You know, it's just some percussion at this point. But there will be melodies and whatnot as we progress through this game. It's a really neat feature of the game. I like it quite a bit. Adds a lot of personality to the game, which is cool. So, and I don't think we're gonna get 50. We were close to 50. But it looks like under 50 will give you 11. Oh, an interesting feature. I didn't know that. We just discovered something. So apparently, if you go through a door and then you find a music box, the music box will exit you at the previous door you came through. So that's actually a good benefit to finding this room right here. Is you go into this room, go through the door. You don't have to buy anything, but when you hit the music box, it'll reset you at that door instead of all the way down at the bottom floor at the beginning. So that's a neat feature. I didn't know that. So this is the glove they were talking about. With that potion, we can touch it, and we will turn into small Milon here. And that's how you get through really tiny areas like this. So that's basically what this is teaching you. And so you can come in here, but we don't really want to do that. There's a lamp there for $50, and it's way too expensive. You can actually get one for about half the price. Secrets in the well. So that's basically telling you there's a well that you can go into. And I actually need to go ahead and hit that glove again. So we're going to push this to open this, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and hit that glove again. And then we're going to just fall straight down like this. And then we're going to go ahead and blast all these blocks. So this is where the key generally appears on this level, but you can actually come up here too, if you aim just right, and you can actually get a little bit of cash up here. So we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of cash, just like that. Pretty smooth run so far, but these early levels are pretty easy. Generally what happens when I play this game is the first few areas really aren't too bad to deal with. It's the later parts of the game, particularly the third floor of the castle, that is just really, really difficult. And so we're going to come into this window first, and these things will sort of fall beneath your feet. And not a whole lot to talk about on this first part here. There's some hidden money right there, so that's $4 of cash. Oh, and I missed the umbrella. That stinks. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and just jump up here like so. There's the key. The key generally appears in the same spot every time you play. And there's a hidden block right there. It doesn't really do anything, unfortunately. There are actually quite a few hidden blocks in this game that actually don't reveal anything. So one thing I want to do is, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and just play the music box game right now. It's going to put us right back at the beginning. And there you go. You can hear there's a little more music playing now. And unfortunately, I collected a flat symbol, which meant when you collect a flat symbol, you lose a note. So I collected a note and then got a flat symbol, so it basically erased my note. The sharp symbols give you 2 notes, and then again, if you get over 50 notes, you will get $25 in cash. That's how you can make this game a lot easier, by having lots and lots of money. There are a couple of rooms later on in the game where you can actually heal yourself for 15 bucks, and we're still not going to get over 50, unfortunately. It's good to play fairly aggressively on those music games. Like, jump into the notes, don't just walk into them like I was doing. But it's not really a big deal, I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so we're just going to come back here like so, and work our way back up around. Notice that I'm jumping off the edges of the platform. That's just my way of getting up these platforms a little bit faster. And still no umbrella, but that's not a big deal. And let's see if this guy gives us one. Yes! Nice. So now I can shoot faster, which is very nice. I'm going to bust open these blocks here, and open up those just in case I fall down. So these platforms right here, you'll actually fall through them. So you don't want to touch them directly. It's kind of trollish, actually. But that's okay. You know, it's about knowing where these items and objects are. Okay, so here's our lantern. Not even 25, it's only 15. So the lantern basically lights up dark areas. And he says the well is climbable. Still talking about that well, which we will be going into very shortly. There's another Hudson bee. Now I'm starting to wonder if the bees stack, because I noticed that my shield is a little bit larger than I'm used to. And I've already taken a bunch of hits, but my bee hasn't, or my shield, not the bee, hasn't gone away yet, which is nice. So I really wonder if stacking bees actually does anything. If anybody out there knows, feel free to post something in the comments section. Alright. So we're going to work our way back around for the last time, and then we will actually not come back to this area ever again. The first room in the game we might come back to later on to do grinding. That's where I like to grind out. But that room, these rooms on this floor, you pretty much never come back to after you finish them. So again, I'm just going to... Ooh, first try. Very nice. I got an umbrella on my very first try. That's good. Okay, so let's... we need to go ahead over here and hit the glove. There's going to be a glove on this side of the screen. We have to jump through that gap to get back up. And then I'm going to fall back down, kind of like so. And open up this, and then that, and then another shop. So this is a vest. It's $25. It will protect you a little bit better from fire, which we experience in the well. You can hit this. It says the vest isn't 100% against heat. So this game actually gives you a lot of hints in game, which is pretty neat. Not a lot of NES games did that at this point in time in the history of video games. So Milon Secret Castle is fairly cryptic. If you don't read the hints. It's much less cryptic if you do read the hints. So I highly recommend reading the hints if you ever play this game. And I probably also recommend reading the manual. Although I haven't taken a gander at the manual myself in quite some time. So, but a lot of NES manuals back in the day had some good information in them as well. Back when games implored you to read the manual. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to go ahead and hit this. So there's power right there. That's actually good to know. That should refill our health, and there's free money right here. So actually, you know what? I might come back here later on when I need health. And let's go ahead, and we have to actually turn small again. But first, what I'm going to do is come down here because I missed a music box. And there's actually a music box right here. Another music box game. Now you're probably saying to yourself, why do you keep playing the music box game? And it's basically because you need money in this game. Almost everything costs money, and so the more times you play the music box game, the more cash you're gonna have. And it is very good to play these well, because then it makes the game easier. And trust me when I say you want this game to be as easy as possible, because it is a brutal game. I'd actually argue it's one of the hardest NES games I've ever beaten, and that's someone that's finished Battletoads many times, and Castlevania 3, and oh man, Batman on NES, Batman Return of the Joker, stuff like that. It's a very challenging game, up there with probably surpassing several of those titles I just mentioned in terms of challenge and the amount of perseverance required to get through the game. So we got that music box, and we got another Hudson B. Looks like my shield is a little bit bigger now, which is great. And let's go ahead and grab this honeycomb. Then with this honeycomb, we can go ahead and leave. We don't need to come back here unless we want to refill our health. Oh, I need to get the key first, so let's come down here. And we just wasted part of our shield, unfortunately. It's actually kind of interesting because, you know, we took multiple hits, but it looks like we still have a full shield, so I'm really starting to think that shields stack, which is actually pretty important, especially on boss fights later on in the game. Alright, so with that, what we're going to do is come down to the well. And there's actually a bee down here, but I'm going to go ahead and actually save it for later on in the playthrough. That'll be quite important. So let's come up here and then jump like this over to here. And we need to bust open these 2 blocks there, or just one if you're small, Milon. And there's another bee in here as well. But really what I care about is that. That's the honeycomb. And there's going to be some more cash right here, just like so. And now, lots of fire. Ooh, man, this game is this game is really giving me some good power-ups. Alright, so we're gonna come down here and hit this, and there's another bee. Let's see if we can get that. Now you'll notice that when you run in this game, there is quite a bit of momentum. Milon can build up lots of momentum. Oof, jeez. Having a hell of a time here. There we go. But it's okay, I have a bunch of shields, which is awesome. And even though I've taken a bunch of hits, I still have my shields. So shields have to stack. And what we're going to do is go ahead and pick up this honeycomb right here. And then bust through this and fight a boss. So just like I was talking about before, I'm going to go ahead and just sort of sit on the ground for the most part. And try to dodge his projectiles. Now these projectiles are completely random. And so sometimes you can just get, you know, it's just the bad luck of the draw, basically. And so what I wanted to do in the early part of the fight was get close to him, but I really wasn't allowed to because of the randomness of his projectiles. It was really frustrating. And there we go. Alright. So this, we get a free hammer, and this basically allows us to bash through brick walls. So there's actually one hidden room that requires you to do that. And one thing I'm going to do here is try to destroy these guys, these creepy looking things. And if we can do so, they drop a balloon, and that'll actually warp us outside of the well here. Unfortunately, they shoot a lot of projectiles and are quite difficult to avoid. Let's see if I can just come up here. This will be a little bit safer. Also, enemies in this game respawn infinitely. So if you need to grind out on health, you can find an enemy like this and find his spawn location and then just kill him over and over. So with this guy not coming up that high, it's actually a little difficult to hit him with my bubbles. There we go. Awesome. So if you get that balloon, you appear back outside. Otherwise, making your way back up and out is actually very tricky. And you know, I said I'm going to save it for later, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get it right now. No, I'm not going to get it right now. I was going to say I'm going to go get the bee right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save it, like I said. Part of the... I was doing this earlier when I was practicing this. So when you come out of the well, you need to not push anything. Just let Milon sit there. Because what I have a tendency of doing is hold right for some reason, because I'm on a section where I have to hold right. And what happens is you come outside the well, and you drop right back in. So here's another free item. We get a saw. So you can enter through the darkened windows. You'll notice that there are darkened, gated windows up top. With the saw, you can bust through them, which is pretty nice. A lot of interesting mechanics in this game. So here's an example right here. You can go in, but there's nothing. So Milon comes back out. Same with certain bricked areas. Let's see if we can do it again, kind of like that, and nothing there. Just like I was explaining earlier. So. But this is the window we have to go through, and now we get to fight yet another boss. And this is actually... I'm gonna exit, because for some reason Milon doesn't have a bubble. So let's go ahead and come... Oh, not a bubble, but he doesn't have the umbrella. So let's come back here, get ourselves an umbrella. And it's actually kind of interesting that the umbrella carries from a main room like that to a boss fight. That's quite interesting. I never actually realized that before. So, very interesting stuff there. So we're going to come up here and fall down again to go through this door, which is our exit door. And now go back to the boss fight. Now Milon can fire faster. Strange, right? You would think on boss fights they'd at least, you know, they would give you the umbrella, you know, in the fight itself. But no, apparently you have to carry it into a boss fight like this. So these birds, we're going to be experiencing them again later on in the playthrough, but they're not going to be big bosses like this. They're going to be smaller bosses, or smaller birds, I should say. And they're going to appear a couple times towards the end of the playthrough, as you guys will see as we get there. There we go. So fortunately, these early bosses in the game, they don't usually take that many hits to kill, so they're not too difficult to deal with. Alright, we're gonna come here first. And actually, I didn't actually want to come here first. There was another place I wanted to go to, but it's not a big deal. But one thing we can do is almost die, because these guys just run right on top of you. What I'm gonna do is actually come this way as well, because there is another honeycomb I can get. And another thing I can do is wait for this guy to spawn and see if I can try to get myself an umbrella. So I might actually do that first to make my life a little bit easier. So we're just going to take our time here. Unfortunately, that guy up top, he will shoot directly at you, and that's kind of annoying to deal with. And then this guy right here, he just... There we go. Alright, good stuff. Alright, we're fine. Lots of springs here, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and grab this music box while we're at it. We might as well. So much more music now. And let's see if we can get ourselves 50 notes this time. Getting the sharps is really good because, you know, that increases your note count by 2. It's especially good if you can get one, you know, back to back with other notes. So there we go. It's not looking like we're gonna get 50, but we're close. We're gonna do it. Oh, we did it! Yeah, so 68 to 93. So there we go. We're rich. Although that won't last very long. So I'm gonna come back this way because... And there's a Hudson B I missed, unfortunately. But we're gonna come up here. And this will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I also want to drop down here because sometimes... Actually, I don't think the key appears down here, come to think of it. I'm confusing this with a previous level we have played through. There's the key, too. Let's run over here just in case, and grab that. Yeah, no key. The key is up top here. Or I thought it was up top. It might actually be near the entrance to the level. And, so I actually didn't want to come here immediately after fighting that previous boss. What I really wanted to do is get, the higher jump ability, which will actually help us out a lot on this level. So let's go ahead and just take our time here, wait for the gap to come back, and we can jump through it. Just like that. And then we can go ahead and jump up like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just skip those dollar symbols. It's not really a big deal. There's the key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually come back to this level. Yeah, we're gonna come back to it. So we're gonna jump up here, and this is our door, our exit door. But if we come up here, this is actually a really tricky jump. But if you come up here, there's a hidden passageway. And I haven't really figured out any rhythm or rhyme to get to this. So we're just gonna try again and again. And see what happens. Come on, Milon, you can do it. So if you sit outside the castle for too long, it turns dark, and lightning bolts start chasing after you. Unfortunately, because you're outside, there is no health that you can get. There are no health drops. And you still can't get it. Come on, Milon. You can do it. You can do it. You can't do it, apparently. Come on. Yeah, it really doesn't want to give it to me now. Alright, so let's come over here. Trying to work our way back up this way. Trying to do this without taking damage. There we go! Wow, that was like 20 or 30 tries. That was pretty ridiculous. But this is the room I was talking about that you can go into, and you can constantly buy power. But we need these spring shoes as well. These will basically let us jump high anywhere, as it says. And we have to work our way back up through the castle. And look how high it can jump. It's very, very high. And like I said, that'll actually help us on the room that we were just in previously. And so we're going to go ahead and come back here. So generally what I do is I try to go for those spring shoes first. So if a power-up is sort of, you know, running away from you, it's easier to get it again. It's easier to pick it back up. So what I'm going to also do is come this way. Just like so. I want to go ahead and hit that. And I don't want to hit all the blocks here, because I need to get up here and hit this block. And then this spring will take us here to get the feather. And the feather will let us ride elevators later on. So this hint says, a room below the fireplace. There is a fireplace we will see in just a couple of levels. And we can actually go ahead and exit if we want to. So let's go ahead and get back towards the beginning here. And we're pretty much done with this place now. We don't have to do anything here. Again. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come... See, I don't know if I can get more cash. I can. We can actually, if we come back to this hidden area, if we can get back up, the money that's in this room actually reappears. But again, it's very tricky to get to. And there, again, there's no rhythm or rhyme to it. You just jump, hold left, and hope that you actually make it up. There we go. See, money's back. And it's 15 bucks you can get for free. And we're not gonna collect that power. We're going to go back and get that later when we actually have more cash. So what I want to try to do, and I don't know if I can do it right now. I might need the feather first. Well, no, we already got a feather. There's another item you can get which allows you to sort of float and hover down nice and slow. But we're going to go ahead and come up in here anyway. Because there is a music box and there is a honeycomb in here. There we go. Got the umbrella, which is great. Again, umbrella is my priority number one when I, you know, play levels in this game. It allows me to shoot a lot faster. It also makes the game more fun, to be honest with you. Because it's not that enjoyable when you can only shoot one bubble at a time. It's very slow firepower. Alright, so the key appeared. And let's go ahead and fall down here. Because the music box is down here. Or at least it's accessed from down here. There we go. And now we can go ahead and play the music box game again. See how much money we can get. If we can get another 25 bucks, that would be fantastic. Get that sharp symbol. There we go. And another one. Oh, I missed it. That was bad. Oh, man. Well, at this rate, we're probably not going to get 50. But sometimes you can get lucky. Yeah, no, it's definitely not happening. Ooh, that was a pathetic amount. Yeah, that was pathetic. We didn't get much money from that. So that's a slight problem. It's not the end of the world, but it's not as awesome as it could have been. So there's a heart and another key dropped, but we're gonna come back up here. You know, something I haven't quite figured out in this game though, and I probably should have researched it before doing this Let's Play, is money will sometimes appear in these later stages, and I don't know why. So if anybody out there knows why, feel free to let me know. But yeah, in some rooms, money will just constantly reappear. I don't know if it's limited, or I don't know if it's a result of playing the music box game a certain amount of times. And then once you do that, money starts reappearing. I really have no idea. But we've got $50, and that's actually good, because there's an item we can get here that will cost us 50, exactly. But we can ride the elevator now, as the shopkeeper said earlier. And there's a shop at the top of this elevator, which will give you Excalibur. Or not. We can't actually get into it. Oh no, there we go. Bam, there we go. So we got the sword, and basically what that does is, as he says, it powers up our bubble. Watch out for a phony princess. That's a hint for the last part of the game. So this basically doubles your bubble's damage, which is very important for boss fights. And so the key is down here on this left-hand side. You can actually bust your way through to this right-hand side. And if you go to the right-hand side here, you can actually get yourself another honeycomb, which I'm going to do. And I don't really think there's much more money down here, though, so this is kind of a fun area. It's just, you know, just have fun shooting. The shooting mechanic in this, and shooting blocks, is actually fairly satisfying in this game. I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's just satisfying busting away these blocks, making them disappear. Makes a little poof sound with a little puffy animation, little clouds, you know, dispensing from the blocks. And there goes my bee. There goes my shield. I'm gonna go ahead and come back up this way. So it's actually really good. I have never actually gotten the sword this early in the game, and this will make life a lot easier as we progress through here. Normally I have the float mechanic by the time I get here, but I've actually done things out of order in a way, which is kind of fun. That's one thing that is fun about this game, is the ability to do things in different orders than you would normally expect. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We don't need to be here yet, but I do want money. And so there will be some money here, and there might even be another item that we can buy as well. So let's go ahead and get hit by the glove. And now we need to try to get ourselves an umbrella as well. So what we'll do is we'll probably just sit here, wait for an umbrella. I highly recommend taking Milon Secret Castle fairly safe, because the game can be very frustrating if you don't. So it's good to literally just take your time. Just take your time. Take all the time in the world. You can get your health back, you can get yourself an umbrella, which makes your offensive power much better. Just like so. Because you can shoot more bubbles at once. And, ooh, there's a bee, and we're not going to get it. You just barely missed it. Alright, so the fireplace is actually down here, but I'm coming down here to get some cash. Notice that there were some bills there. And there's also some more right here. And since we're small Milon, we can actually come back down here and get some of these. Just like so. And if I wanted to, I can come up this way. And this way. And there's actually a door. Oh, there's the key. That's an interesting spot for it to spawn. I haven't seen it spawn there before. Okay, let's go ahead and get that heart. And we're gonna go ahead and open up this. This is a shop, I believe? Yeah, there we go. Oh, we don't have the money! We will, though, in a minute. There is only one Maharito. Maharito is the boss of the game. A crown and a cane is needed at the 4th floor. So basically we have to get ourselves a crown and a cane, and I'll talk about how to get those shortly. So what I'm going to do is actually come back here, because, for one, some of this money reappeared. 2, there's a music box here as well. So we're going to go ahead and play the music box game yet again. There we go. Let's hope for 25 bucks this time. And I believe this is actually going to be our last music box game. There aren't any more in the game. So listen to that sweet music. Like I said, it's a really fun mechanic. I had no idea about it as a kid, so as an adult going back and playing this game, it's a very nice attention to detail that the developers didn't really need to implement, but they did, and it's fun. It adds a certain amount of charm to the game. There's a sharp. Nice. Okay, we got 25. $25. There we go. Awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and get hit by the glove again. So as far as the fireplace is concerned, we don't need to go there yet. Doesn't need to happen. So we'll come back to this area later to do that. But for now, we're going to actually go ahead and exit. And, you know, if I really wanted to, oops. If I really wanted to, I could just leave. Which wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump over the door. Okay, so this place is actually fairly frustrating. Lots of enemies coming left and right. Fortunately, there is a honeycomb here that we will get. And these guys do have a tendency of dropping health pretty frequently, at least, which is nice. But I need that umbrella. Got it. So there's a honeycomb right down here. So I'm not really too worried about taking too many hits. It's this next section coming up that can be a little frustrating. There are some money symbols here, but not a whole lot, to be honest with you. And I believe there should be a bee here somewhere as well. Let's see if we can come over here. There we go. There it is. Got it. These little crawly guys, they shoot projectiles pretty quickly and are kind of annoying to deal with. So you want to fall down and just shoot them immediately. Don't let them fire. But here we go, another boss fight. So at this point in the game, what I like to do is when the boss gets close... I jump. And you know what I just realized? I forgot to buy that item. I got the money, but I didn't buy the item. So that was pretty dumb on my part. But what's actually pretty cool is I've got the sword. And I normally don't have the sword when I get here. So this guy should take about half the hits since we have the sword. Oh, that is a lot easier. Wow. Look at how much health that guy took away, though, for one hit. And so, extinguish the fire. And it's actually kind of good we came here first, because now we can come back to this room and do the fire boss at the same time. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another umbrella. It's one of my complaints with some of these areas is the umbrella just kind of... You know, Milon doesn't keep his powers from level to level. And even if you're just revisiting an area like this, you have to spend time grinding for yet another umbrella. So speaking of which, let's actually go ahead and buy that item while we're at it. But let me try to get that umbrella first. There it is. Can I get it? Nope, not gonna get it. So that was a missed opportunity. So with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and just buy this item. So we're holding right. There we go, and we just fall into the door. 40 bucks. And there was only one Maharino. Yeah, what's cool about these hints is if you get lost, you know, the hints do come back, which is nice. And let's go ahead and become small again. One of the benefits of becoming small is that your hitbox shrinks. So, it's easier to dodge enemies. So it's actually beneficial to become small. Milon is still the same strength and whatnot. So there's really no downside to it. And I believe the jump height is identical as well. I really don't think it changes at all. And again, I want that umbrella. There we go, got one. Very nice. Okay, so I want to come here, trigger the flame, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and kill the flame. Awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and push this forward. And then just let it sit there for a minute. And now what I'm going to do is actually grind out for health. When we fall down into that area behind the fireplace, we go to a boss fight. So I definitely don't want to do that unless I'm fully prepared. Because you saw how much damage bosses can dish out at this point in the game. And so I like to sit here, because one guy will spawn up top, one guy will spawn down below. Occasionally these little dragon guys will fly down at, you know, at angles. One interesting thing about the umbrellas is if you land on the top of the umbrella, it'll actually give you some health back as well. Now that might only be after you've already gotten an umbrella, but it's a neat feature. Nice little detail that I didn't figure out until just recently. So umbrellas are good too for the health grind. You just have to land on them a very specific way. Alright, just one more heart. I like to try to just do everything I can. I try to make sure I have full health when I go into a boss fight like this, because it's challenging. It's very, very challenging. And there we go. So now we can actually float down as the boss gets close. There we go. Awesome. Very smooth run so far, actually. I'm actually quite surprised. But that throws us to this area, and this is a really annoying area in the game. Got the umbrella, and what I should probably do is try to grind out for some health here as well. But I don't think I really need it. I think I'll be fine. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, so this area is also really tricky because it has lots of invisible platforms. So what I want to do on this part is come over to the left-hand side and jump over like this. And I might not actually need to grind out for health. But what we need to do is work our way up here. Over like this. We fall down. Oh. That was wrong. I fell down too early. So let's go ahead and work our way back up here. Fortunately, like I said earlier, these guys have a tendency of dropping health fairly quickly. And actually, look, I didn't even have to jump into the umbrella on the from the top. I actually just ran into it from the bottom, and it gave me health. So I don't know if maybe it's a power-up you get in the game that will turn umbrellas into health, or if it's just a mechanic where as long as you have an umbrella, you get health. I'm not quite sure how that works, so I'll have to verify that on a future playthrough. Okay, so we got plenty of health now. Let's go ahead and try to work our way back up. This is a very annoying part of the game. If you do this on a first try, it's a little frustrating. We have to go ahead and collect the princess, and I'm going to go ahead and come back down here. Just like so, and then work our way back up again. I didn't want to be next to that bird when it appeared, because it was going to do a lot of damage to me. It basically would have spawned right next to me. I would have taken guaranteed damage and whatnot. Not that it really seems to matter all that much, because I'm taking a lot of damage here as well. Let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, we have to grind out again. You can see how frustrating this area can be. I really feel like, invisible platforms was quite unnecessary. But it is what it is, So, if you play this game for the first time, and if you weren't frustrated by the time, before you got here, you will be by the time you get here. It's one of those sorts of things. Let's get that. Get that. Get that. Ooh, look, full health. Alright, cool. Let's try this again. Alright, there we go. Let's come back over here, like so. And fortunately I have the sword, so the guy won't take that many hits to kill. And then he drops, the cane. Or the staff, whatever it is. Alright, so I'm gonna actually grind out for health here as well. Actually, you know what? I don't think I actually need money from here on out. I think my money's good, so what I can do is, I can actually just go and buy some health if I really want to. Let's go ahead and work our way right back up. Actually, I was talking about this earlier. There's also some power you can buy here. Let's go ahead and just see if we can buy power here instead. Instead of trying to make that wonky jump into the, that hidden window. Or that hard-to-reach window that leads to a secret room. Boom, there we go. Well, that helps. It's a little bit easier than, again, doing that, that ridiculous jump later, in the higher part of the castle. Okay, and, you know, if I really wanted to, what I could do is actually come back down here. Because we've got the Hudson Bee that we can get. There we go. Got it. So we have ourselves a shield now, which is very helpful. And we come back up, just like so. And then come back up this way. And we are actually nearing the end of the game already, believe it or not. We need to come up into this tower here. And then we're going to fight ourselves another boss. So on this section, I generally just run and run and run and run, unless my health is low. If your health is low, you can try to kill these enemies. They all give you health back occasionally, even the lightning bolts. So again, the lightning bolts don't give you health outside, but they do give you health on the inside. So there's a slight trick to this area. You're gonna come to a section where you've got some blocks up top, and I just wasted my shield, unfortunately. So right here, blocks up top. Let's go ahead and grab this health. You need to jump up where those blocks were. Otherwise, you'll just end up repeating the whole section over and over again. And it's another boss fight. And again, I like to sort of jump up as he gets close. And that was fast. So, word to the wise, get the sword first. It is making my life so much easier. I always skip the sword up until this part, or until I've done all this stuff. Not realizing I can get it early, and getting it early makes life so much easier. So spend the cash, get the sword, just get it, just do it. Alright, so what I want to do is jump back up here. And we're going to try to work our way back over to the left. Is it to the left? No, I need to work my way over to the right. I'm thinking I'm on the other tower. But on this tower, you have to work your way to the right. So there's a fake princess on both sides. In both towers, I should say. And let's jump up. We don't want to walk over that set of platforms. Otherwise, we'll fall down and exit. We'll be forced to exit. And for this one, we need to actually fall down here and bust open these blocks manually. Just like so. This is actually the easier one of the two, to be honest. It's not as cumbersome to access. Although this bird is just flying all over the place. Normally they don't fly that far. And there's the crown. Let's go ahead and get that. And now, instead of grinding for health, I'm going to actually just go buy more health, because again, there's nothing else to buy. So let's go ahead and walk out to the left here. Alright. And I don't think there are any other Hudson Bees I can get, though, which is kind of a shame. There we go. Man, third try. So we get some more cash. And there we go. All of our health back. And so now what we're going to do is have to... Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I'm being a dummy now. Alright, so let's just quickly exit here because I wasn't paying attention. Come back through this door. Go into the window like I'm supposed to. And then we're going to work our way back up again. And now, that window up top that I just basically skimmed, that's where we have to go. And there we go. This boss is insanely aggressive, and he looks like he does 3 blocks of health. So having the bee when I got here would have been great, but I wasted it. So I should have grabbed it before I actually got to this room. But I thought it would be of use in the tower, which it was, but it would be a lot more useful here. Alright, good stuff. And now, once again, we're gonna leave. And just flutter our way down here. And we're gonna go buy some health again. You know, assuming we can actually get up here again. Milon's greatest nemesis is a platform. It's not anything else in the game, it's just a platform. But it'll be worth it. There we go. So, since we've gotten that money 3 times, it doesn't reappear again. So that power is actually, it's free for 3 times. So if you're very low on health and you want to refill, you can go back to that room and then get yourself a free refill of health, because it's $15 for the health and they give you $15 right before you walk into that room. Alright, so this is the last section of the game. This section is really interesting in that there are 4 final bosses, and only one of them is the correct one. So what we're going to do is come up here first, and we're going to go ahead and just kill this guy, just to get him out of the way, because of all those projectiles. And we're going to go ahead and come here, just like so. And this is actually kind of bad. These guys are really annoying me right now. Normally they don't all appear at once like this, so that's a little frustrating. So I might actually have to leave to grind out for some more health. So we're gonna come up here like so. Okay, you basically fall through that. And there's a glove. No, there was a glove. Alright, let's see if we can get back up. There we go. These guys are really aggressive right now. It's actually really annoying. On my last practice run of this game, I didn't have any issue with them. And there's a bee. So this guy only fires. He only opens up his weakness when you get close to him. Okay, I have to get rid of this bird first, too, because I don't have much health. So let's go ahead and get rid of him. There we go. And unfortunately, they don't give you any health back or anything like that. Let's see if we can destroy this one. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and just stay in here again. Okay, that's a fake one. So let's go ahead and come in here. See if this guy will come up. See if he flies up this way. You can see how tedious this last part of the game is. And he's back. There we go, he's dead. And that's a fake one too. And you know what's interesting, I just realized this, is when you kill the fake one, you actually get health back. I had no idea about that, so that's really cool. So 2 rooms down, there are 4 colored rooms, so you know where you've been. And what's interesting about this mechanic is that The room is random every time you play the game, but it stays the same if you play the game again on, you know, on the same session. So if you get a game over, or if you need to leave and come back, the correct room is the same. And this might actually be the right one. Nope, it's not. But we got a little bit of health back, which is good. Alright, so that should make this last one the correct room. And we just beat Milon Secret Castle. And there we go. So that is the entire game. We got a 1 life clear, 1 CC. You really can only do a 1 life clear or 1 credit clear if you don't want to continue. So you bravely saved Castle Garland. Thank you a million. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I'm dyslexic right now. Thank you, Milon. I saw M-I-L-O-N. And I for some reason, I thought million. It's not million. Thank you, Milon. So that is Milon Secret Castle on the NES. It is quite the playthrough. It is quite a difficult game. That took us an hour to get through without dying. So there's a little bit of grinding, but just imagine if you do die, there's even more grinding if you want to get your health back and whatnot. So that's pretty much a full playthrough. I think we got just about everything in the game. I might have missed a music box or a honeycomb or something like that. I think I got everything, though, that's important. So, but yeah, it's a good game. It's a very, very difficult game. If you're one of those players that is looking for a very challenging NES game, this will definitely give you a run for your money. So it's not as bad as I used to think it was once I figured out where everything is and whatnot, and more importantly, not just figuring out where everything is, but basically mapping out the castle and routing out the castle properly. So, like, for instance, me getting the sword early actually helped out a lot, and I don't know why I never thought to do that before. So there are so many different places to go and so many different details in this game that forming a good route takes time. It takes many, many playthroughs to figure out the best way through the game. And I'm sure my routes could still be improved upon. And I might actually try to improve on it in the future. So, but yeah, classic game. It's great that I've finally been able to beat this game again. And I do recommend trying it. It is challenging, but it's also fun at times as well. So if you guys have any questions or comments about this playthrough, or if you have any tips of your own, or any bits of information you'd like to share, or maybe some memories of this game, having maybe played it growing up, feel free to share them in the comments section below. I don't really have much else to add. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and head out. So if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I've got many Let's Plays here and many more to come. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated the video, give it a thumbs down. For everybody subbed already, thank you for the continued support. I really appreciate it. And until the next one, take it easy.